So this is the Innocn 4K OLED gaming monitor, 48-inch. And as I've said so many times before, this monitor was on my Amazon wish list. And when I first put it on my wish list, I believe it was like around $1,200. And a few days ago, I saw it for like $779. It wasn't on sale or anything. It wasn't on Memorial Day sale or anything because it is close to Memorial Day when I got this, and tomorrow will be Memorial Day. But no, it just said something like Prime member pricing or something like that. So why did I get this when I already have these two big TVs right here as my computer monitors, right? Well, I'll show you why. So right over here in my kitchen, this is one of my very first 4K TVs that I bought back in like 2016, I believe. It's the Samsung Super QLED TV or something. But this is going to get replaced with the Samsung Q190A that I have because for two reasons. One, I don't know if you guys can see those pixels on there or the light coming through the TV. But the main thing is it doesn't like connecting to the internet no more for some reason. It will never connect to the internet. Like if you guys can see those lights, see these LED lights showing right through? They show all the way through when you're watching like bright TV. See, it says internet connectivity problem. And no matter how many times I try to get it to connect, now it won't connect. So I can go here to network status, and try to get it to connect to my router, and it never can connect to it no more. Usually before, it takes a little bit of time for it to connect, like a minute or so, maybe 2 minutes at most, and then it'll connect. But now it just doesn't want to connect to my network. So that's why it's getting replaced, because how am I going to watch YouTube or TV while I'm sitting down to eat if there's nothing to connect it to? So back to the Innocn. The Innocn 48-inch OLED 4K monitor, like I said, when it first came out was probably $1,200. That was back in 2023, which is not too long ago, like say a few months ago. As of this date, it is now May 25th, 2024. So I got this with my Amazon pricing, which was Amazon Prime pricing, which is $779, plus using up all my gift cards from Amazon. That has helped me out some, and my Prime rewards from my Prime Visa came out to like just a little over $400 for this 48-inch 4K OLED gaming monitor. So let's check out the specs. So as you guys can see right there, it's OLED, 138 Hertz, 0.1 millisecond response time, 99% of the DCI-P3, and I think it's like 100% of sRGB. But look how big this box is. It's almost as big as the futon right there. The front and back of the box are pretty much identical. There's a little bit of damage right here, probably from the Amazon driver or whoever, but yeah, I'm just happy that it got delivered a day earlier. It was supposed to be delivered Sunday instead of today, Saturday. But let's open this box up and take a look at the monitor and what it comes with. First things first, cut these. And then cut that tape open. Okay, so what do we get up top? Up top here, this looks like the adapter for mounting it to a wall, the VESA adapter. That's what it looks like to me from when I saw the other videos on this Innocn. And then right here is probably the base of the stand. I think the stand is already installed to the back of the monitor. All I have to do is install the base right here. Okay, let's get this monitor out of the box. Actually, before we can get the monitor out of the box, I think we gotta remove these things right here. These are like what comes on with TVs that are like 50-inch sizes or bigger. So I have to remove these tabs, probably pop them out to get the monitor out. There's two on each side. So the main thing differences between the front and back of the box is the back of the box has a drawing of the back of the monitor, while the front of the box has a drawing of the front of the monitor. Okay, so once we remove the top styrofoam right there, protecting the top of the TV or the monitor, this is what we also get is the accessories. So let's take a look at the accessories first. So inside the accessories bag, you get these screws, probably to attach the base to the stand. You get some batteries, which is pretty cool. You get a display port to HDMI connector. You get an HDMI to HDMI. You get the power cord, which is pretty cool. Even though this Innocn is an LG panel, from what I saw, it looked like an LG C3 TV, like my LG C3 TV. But the LG C3s don't even have a removable cord, so this is always nice. You get a remote control, and it looks like you get a screwdriver. Yeah, you get a Phillips screwdriver right there for the screws that you could cut that came with it. So they basically give you everything you need to get the monitor. Why do I keep saying TV? To get the monitor up and running. Okay, so I pulled the monitor out while lying it on the side like this from the back, or lying it on the front with the back facing me. And right now you can see the stand is exposed, and it seems pretty good build quality wise. You got a combination of plastic and then metal here on the inside. This is really cold metal, cold to the touch. Did I mention that this TV or this monitor was kind of heavy, and it's normally a two-person job, but since it's only me, I had to do it all myself. So now let's attach this metal base. It feels like metal. It's really heavy too. Let's attach it to the stand. So this is the base, and you guys can hear that. It's metal. It's got a good anodized finish that don't look like it'll attract fingerprints, so that's good. So it's got these parts right here, these grooves that you have to line up with these right here, and then I'm assuming you screw it on from the bottom. Okay, so I got the base screwed on. I thought it was going to be a problem or a hassle because of the fact that it's lying on the side and I can't really see from where I'm at sitting down. But all I did was just put the screws onto the screwdriver and then just put them in here like so, and then start turning them and tightening them up. So there's 4 screws that go to the base, but you have one extra screw right here, so I don't even know what this is for. Maybe it's just an extra. And one thing I also didn't notice is, where is the instruction manual? So I'm going to stand up the monitor and see if the instruction manual is buried on the bottom of the box. Okay, so at the very bottom of the box is this Innocn monitor color calibration factory report. So as you guys can see, it says, thank you for choosing Innocn monitor to ensure an accurate and consistent display. Every Innocn monitor has been calibrated before the factory release. And so you can check that out for yourselves right there. Also inside the bag with the calibration report is a way to contact Innocn. And then here is the quick installation guide. So let's look at that quick installation guide to see if I installed the base properly. Okay, I guess I did. So right here, number 1, it says precautions. Number 2 is install the base onto the stand with the 4 screws. See? So the extra screw is just an extra screw. It's probably for the wall mount. So here, number 3 is how to remove the stand and then put on the wall mount, which is this thing right here. And this thing probably will require you 6 screws. So the screws that are already on the stand probably, and the extra screws that came with it. So this is how the wall mount adapter looks like right here. And this is also metal and cold to the touch, as you guys can see. And then right here on number 4, it says that the stand can either it could tilt the screen back and forth 10 degrees back and 5 degrees forward. So not much, but what do you expect? This is a big monitor. So I'm going to leave this cover on for right now until I bring it over to my room on the computer desk. But here are the connections. You have a 3.5 millimeter connector, and then you have 1, 2, 3 HDMI 2.1 connectors, and then you have your display port, and then what is this? A USB-C? Yeah, you have USB-C right here with, I think it's 65 watt with charging. There's the display port, there's the 3 HDMIs, and the headphone jack or 3.5 connector output. Okay, first off, this thing is big, much bigger than I expected. So there's the 42-inch LG C3, and there's the Innocn 48-inch monitor. It barely fits my desk. And while I was carrying it, I was afraid I might bend the screen because the screen is so thin. It feels even thinner than the LG screen, although they're probably about the same. And so I had to carry it from the bottom. Yeah, I was just carrying it from the bottom, like on these parts right here. Okay, after removing the cover, you also have this screen protector right here, so we got to remove that. So actually, I'm going to start at this bottom corner right here, and then just peel it out and see what kind of screen it is, because I thought it was a reflective screen. It might be a reflective screen. Actually, it's somewhat reflective, as you can see. Here's the LG screen. You can see me right there. Hello. And then here's the screen. Yeah, so it's not quite glossy, and that might bother me. I don't know if it. And here's the LG. You can see me clearly. And then here's that. Okay, so now let's take a proper walkthrough. So the TV, or the monitor, why do I keep saying TV, is 48 inches diagonal from that top corner to that bottom corner right there. As you can see right here, there is this bottom part that is not all screen, unlike the LG. And that is for the speakers, which when I saw from the videos, they sounded pretty good. And the whole look of this monitor kind of looked like the Philips OLED TV Plus. I think it's like the 903, 908 OLED TV Pluses. You guys will see it up there. I'll put a picture of the Philips OLED TVs. And here on the side profile, you guys can see it's really thin. It looks very similar to the side profile of my LG C3 right there. Except that on the LG C3, this part is not as prominent, or it's not as tall as this part right here, because it's a bigger screen. What it doesn't show you is that right here are LEDs, for RGB LEDs, to give you a nice ambient light, kind of like also like the Philips TVs, because the Philips TVs also have what they call Ambilight LED TVs, or LEDs, on the back of the TV. And you guys will see that in a little bit. Also, what I noticed is there's a styrofoam right here that I probably have to remove. So here are the tilt functions of the TV. It's tilted right now 5 degrees forward, and then you can tilt it back, like right there, 10 degrees backwards. And I'm tilting it by holding this, and not the actual screen itself, because the screen is really thin. Like I said, it's thinner than my smartphone that I'm using right now to record this video. So for reference, here is the case for my smartphone. And as you can see, that'll give you a good idea of how thin that screen is. Just as thin, if not, it looks a little thinner than the LG C3's screen. Let's see. Yeah. They're probably about the same, but this, just because this is shorter, it seems like it's a little thicker, but it's probably the same. So now, how am I going to fit this sound bar that I have that was underneath the Samsung? It does fit underneath here, as you guys can see, but now it's going to be like tilting, and you could probably get vibrations or it's not going to stay still right there. As you can see, it probably might slide down once it starts making noise, so, or starts producing sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably have to scoot this stand or the TV back a little bit more to get the soundbar on here. As you guys can see in the back here, I still have room to scoot it back just a little bit more, but it's not the soundbar fitting all the way through here, but it's the laptop and the laptop cooler getting in the way. So I'm just going to put it like that and hope for the best. And actually, the soundbar disappears underneath the TV from right there where that stand is. So I'm just going to leave it just like that. Now let's connect everything up and see how it looks. Okay, first off, here's the LG. Here's my Acer Helios Predator mini LED screen. And there's the Innocn monitor. You could see the difference in the colors. Actually, the beautiful thing with OLED, even with this matte screen, somewhat matte screen, is that you still have very good viewing angles as with any OLED like the LG. Not sure how good the viewing angles on the Acer is, but as you can see, it's decent. Now, color-wise, the LG and the Innocn look pretty similar. First things first, the remote control. You can't just point it anywhere. You have to point the remote control next to that LED light right there. If you point it anywhere else, you'll get no response, as you can see right here. I'm going to try to bring up the menu and see, nothing happens. And I bring it over here next to the LED, and that pops up. So here is where it's at right now on its defaults. It's in professional mode, and it says standard. Picture settings right there. The brightness is at 60 and the contrast is at 50%. Brightness modes, it says it's normal. HDR is off, contextual model is off, and widescreen. With that being said, let's see how it looks with its default mode. First off, just like on my LG, I have the scaling on this monitor to 125% because I like to have a good amount of icons right there, or shortcuts. And with the 125% scaling, this is how the text look from about, at least on my camera, from about a few inches away. I'm going to say like 6-8 inches away. So it's not bad. And I always have all my computers in dark mode. Okay, now let's go to YouTube. As you can see, there's the text again, how it looks. The Fireworks Sony OLED demo. So let's do that, I guess. And this is in a bright room, as you guys can see right there. And I don't know if you guys can hear the speakers on this thing, but they got some pretty good sound to them. How loud are the speakers? Let me get the remote and see how loud the sound is on this. So the volume is only at 50%. Let's put it on. Let's turn it up, all the way up.
products.
Here's a video of my unboxing of the
This is
Acer Predator Helio 16.
Advertising what you have, and then all the porch pirates will see it, and then they're like, "Oh, a laptop." Okay, so let's just move this big box.
And another thing I forgot to show you guys is, so I think it's on. The backlighting is right there.
Predator Helio 16 with the Predator.
Let me turn off my lights.
Yeah, the Helio's Predator 18 being sold through that other reseller.
You can see
it didn't have too many good reviews.
A little bit of it.
And I read a few of the reviews where they said they give you a hard time with the return policy.
So with these backlights right here, it really does look like the Philips OLED Plus TVs. But there's only two settings on these lights, on or off. I don't know yet how to turn them on or off, but I will show you guys in the full review. This is just the first look and unboxing. And I will compare it with the LG in a full review or in future videos. But right now, let's just focus on the Innocn. Turn my lights back on and play some more HDR demos for you guys in this bright light, as you guys can see. Actually, before we play some more HDR demos, let's do the dirty screen effect test.
Dirty screen effect.
Again, the speakers on this are not that bad. Not bad at all. Okay. So at its default, there is no, I'm not seeing any dirty screen effect at this time. And you shouldn't really see dirty screen effect on OLED TVs or OLED monitors, OLED TVs, OLED screens. Okay, back to some more demos. This is the Hisense demo. Okay, before this video takes too long, because this is just the first impressions and an unboxing, I'm going to play the tried and true Samsung Bravia OLED demo. That came with my Samsung Bravia OLED A1. Okay, so before we end this video, I'm going to bring up the menu again, and then we're going to go right here to professional and go to see how this picture looks with this Acer Predator wallpaper in the different modes right there: standard, sRGB, Adobe, and DCI-P3. So right now it's in standard. Let's go to sRGB. Okay, wait. Okay, so that's sRGB. As you can see, it's a little more muted now compared to the LG and the Acer. Now we'll go to Adobe. And same thing with Adobe. We're going to go to DCI-P3. I'm not really liking this remote, how it's not that responsive. DCI-P3. Go. And same thing. So to me right now, the colors that or at least to me, to my eyes, it might not be the most accurate, but I like the standard mode the best right now. So I'm going to go back to standard. There I am in standard mode, and it more closely looks a little bit like the other two screens. And then let's see, we're going to go down to sharpness and actually go down here to dynamic brightness and see what that does. Standard, it actually made it a little bit better. So what's expert? Expert, what's elaboration? Elaboration makes it look darker, as you can see. Expert, standard. I'm going to go to expert. I like expert. There we go. And now let's we'll go to picture settings. How do I go back? Okay. Picture settings. Let's look at the brightness. See if we can go any brighter. Do you want to continue? The option may result in higher energy consumption. I'm going to say okay. I'm not really noticing a difference between 60 and 100%. So I'm just going to go back down to, like, say 75. Brightness mode, let's look at that one. It says normal and then highlight. Whoa. Highlight made it look even more brighter. Okay. Let's go to normal because I'm not really liking that one. Contrast, I'm going to keep it the same. Contextual model, what is that? Movie mode, reading mode, night mode, care eyes mode. Let's see what movie mode looks like. Movie mode. Okay. I think it gave it a little more color in movie mode. I could be wrong, but let me go back to that. Turn it off. Yeah. I don't know if you guys are noticing it, but it did give it more color in movie mode. So I like movie mode. Now let's go to HDR on and off, probably HDR standard. Okay. HDR movie. HDR design. I like movie mode. There we go. So that's probably it as far as I'm gonna do right now with this menu system. Now I can compare it again with the LG, and now it looks even more like the LG, even though the LG is not the most accurate, but I like these colors right there. So far so good with this Innocn 48-inch OLED. Let's go with the cons first. The cons first for me is that remote control. It doesn't have a big field of view. You have to point it directly at the where that LED is right there to get the remote control to work. The non-glossy screen may be a con. It's a little bit of a con, at least to me, compared to the LG's glossy screen right there. The LG's, I know it's a smaller screen, but it looks just a tad sharper in my eyes compared to the Innocn. And what other cons can I think of? That's probably the only cons I can think of right now. As far as installation wise and everything, and I'm not even going to complain about the weight or the size because I knew what I was getting. For some of you, this size may be a con and that weight, but I was able to do everything on my own. I was able to bring it into my house with this big heavy box into my house by myself. I was able to install it and put it on a desktop all by myself. Didn't need any help. So that's not a con for me, the size or the weight. The pros, number one pro is the price. This might be the best 48-inch OLED compared to some of its competitors like the LG Ultra Gear, the KTC ones that are the same size. They are a lot more. They're like over $1,000, and this is, at the time of making this video, only $779. That's a big pro for me right there because it's well over $1,000. And then the other pro is that speaker. The speakers sound really good for a monitor. Probably the best speakers I've ever heard on any monitor. It almost sounds just as good, if not almost the same, as the LG. Now you see I wasn't doing anything, so it goes into screensaver mode, and that's good because that'll save the OLED from burning. These are the best speakers I've heard on a monitor. Almost comparable, if not almost the same as the LG's TV speakers. And the LG has pretty good sound, at least for a small 42-inch TV. And then number three is the installation. It was pretty easy to set up, no instruction manual needed, even though they did have one. And I like that it's factory calibrated out of the box, which is another plus. So that is it for this unboxing and setup, first impressions of the Innocn 48-inch OLED gaming monitor. If you guys are interested in this 48-inch OLED, it's the best price out of any 48-inch gaming OLED monitors, and it's got a really good picture. It's got a really good sound. Like I said, it looks like the Philips OLED Plus TVs with Ambilight. If you guys are interested in this Innocn 48-inch OLED gaming monitor, I'll put links in the description. If you do decide to use those links, you will be helping out my channel and my charity, the Wounded Warrior Project. If you guys have made it this far, thank you guys all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at The Workout Geek for all my latest happenings and great workout tips. Also, you can use my Instagram to contact me to let me know if you have any questions on this monitor or any of the other products that I review. With that said, take care, stay safe, stay healthy, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video.